Harijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Visakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you for your kind association. We will start our session. This is the 53rd sitting of Srila Prabhupada's Lilamrt. We are into a very, very interesting part of Srila Prabhupada's biography. Prabhupada always said that Vrindavan is my home, Mayapur is my place of worship, and Bombay is my place of business. So three places. One is home, then that is Vrindavan. Then he goes to Bombay for his business. And then when he wants to worship, it is Mayapur. So like the Prabhupada said, these three places are very important for our movement. So now we are seeing Prabhupada acquiring the necessary land and then starting the projects in all three places. So that is where, in a very interesting part, we are all poised now. We are going to see how a pure devotee's desire will be manifested by Krishna. We have already seen how, after a long struggle in Mayapur, first Prabhupada tried through his god brothers. Then, when he realized that they are actually putting obstacles, then Prabhupada decided that he will do it through his own white disciples. Even though they were inexperienced in the ways of India, they did not know the legal systems, they did not know how to work around the cheating propensities of various brokers and sellers. And Mayapur was dominated by Muslims at that point of time, even now. And there had to be a lot of negotiation, and somehow they had to buy the land. Srila Prabhupada finally entrusted the job to Tamal Krishna Maharaj. He carried the cash in his waist. He was carrying 4 lakhs of rupees in a waistband. Prabhupada said, this is the way to carry the money. Otherwise, anybody can swindle you at any point of time. And they had gone for 1 week, and Prabhupada was in great tension. On the 6th night, at midnight, Prabhupada was sitting in his room in Calcutta in the Minto Park temple, Radha Govinda temple. And around midnight, there were footfalls on the staircase. And then there was a knock on Prabhupada's room, and he entered Tamal Krishna Maharaj and handed over the documents into Prabhupada's lotus hands, and he said, the land is now yours. So that was a very historic moment. Prabhupada was very happy. And Prabhupada laid back on the wall and he said, now you can rest. He said that to Tamal Krishna Maharaj. That means for the past 6 days, Tamal Krishna had not rested because he had this one order from his guru that don't come back without getting the land. And here is the cash. So we see how committed are the disciples of Srila Prabhupada. All of them, without exception, Srila Prabhupada's disciples, whoever was serving actively in the mission of Srila Prabhupada, they would give their life also for Srila Prabhupada's sake. And in one meeting, Srila Prabhupada said to some of his god brothers that these disciples of mine, they will give their head for my sake. And I, for the sake of these disciples, I will also give my head. So this was the very special relationship between Guru and disciples. So like that, the land became a 4-acre piece of land was available to ISKCON in Mayapur. And work started immediately. They built a hut for Srila Prabhupada in the middle of paddy field, 4 acres of paddy field, surrounded by paddy field, nothing else. Miles and miles of paddy field, nothing else. You can imagine what it will be like. Always flooded with water, right? Paddy fields are always, irrigation is by flooding, is it not? Paddy needs a lot of water. So there is always water all over the place. Water means mosquitoes. Mosquitoes, rats, snakes, infested place. And there was hardly anything you can get. If it is all paddy field, where you will go for your provisions? There was not even a proper toilet. So you can imagine how horrified Prabhupada's disciples must have been. Many of them ladies. There was no proper toilet. They just created a small partition and you go inside, you find nothing. It's just a barren land, muddy land. So they were willing to do any kind of sacrifice. Nobody ran away saying, Prabhupada, in these conditions, we cannot work. I'm sorry. I love you. I want to serve you, but not possible. I can serve you in America, but not here. Nobody left like that. They were fully committed to Prabhupada's mission. On the other hand, they all became doubly committed to serving Srila Prabhupada in his projects. So that was Mayapur. Then Vrindavan, the 10-day festival happened, Pandal festival. And then Prabhupada took his disciples on an excursion to Vrindavan. The aim was to show them the various places where Radha and Krishna have performed their pastimes. But Prabhupada had another objective, that is to find land for ISKCON temple in Vrindavan. So they went and saw many places. And eventually one disciple, Mr. Yes, we don't know the full name, he offered land to Prabhupada, free. He said, you can build your temple here. The only commitment is that you should build a temple and that should come up within a specified time. Otherwise, we will take the land back because many people promise they don't deliver. We have kept this land, our family property, only that some good pious activity will happen here. So if you promise that you will build your temple here, we will give. Prabhupada took that offer. Even though others were also offering land, Prabhupada knew people will offer land without seriousness. Tomorrow, they will go back on their words. But this devotee, Prabhupada trusted him, and so he accepted, and he thanked in his mind Lord Shri Krishna that I came with a desire, and he have instantly fulfilled it. I wanted land, and he given me land. And where is that land? Raman Reti. Reti means sand. Raman means the playful or charming sands of Vrindavan. And Raman Reti is very famous as the playgrounds for Krishna Balram and the Gopas. This is where they would come. They will come for grazing the cows and they would play here. The sand is so soft like talcum powder, so fine and so white. And this is the place where they would play. Even today, when devotees go on pilgrimage to Vrindavan, they roll in these sands because you cannot imagine how many Gopas and Gopis and Krishna, Balram, their foot dust is mixed with the dust in Vrindavan. Sand itself is special. And that too, the footprints of all these people are mixed there. So people roll on the sand and they shower the sand on their heads because, any of you know what Prahlad Maharaj said about how to become a devotee of Vishnu or Krishna? Anyone? In the 7th canto, he is advising his father. You remember?
Prabhuji, the dust of the lotus feet of devotees, Prabhuji.
Yeah, he uses the word Abhishekam. Pada Rajo Abhishekam. Pada Raj. Raj means the sand, the dust. Abhishek. You have to shower yourself completely, cover yourself in the dust from the lotus feet of devotees. So that is what exactly Raman Reti is. So it's a great, great opportunity. So whenever you go to Vrindavan, don't miss this chance of visiting the Raman Reti. There are many ashrams in that area and filled with sand in the middle. And you will see hundreds and hundreds of devotees playing there because there is a place where Krishna Balaram play. So this is where Prabhupada has got the land. And so eventually a temple of ISKCON came up there, which we see today when we go to Vrindavan. And the temple is called Krishna Balaram temple. The middle altar is Krishna Balaram. On the right side of Krishna Balaram is Gauranitai. And on the left side is Radha Shyam Sundar. And the temple is named as Krishna Balaram temple because it is Raman Reti. So then Prabhupada visited many places in Vrindavan along with his disciples. He told them when they were doing parikrama of Govardhan hill that you should not step on the hill. Should not step on the hill means not that you should not climb on the hill. You should not climb definitely, but on the foothills of the Govardhan, you will see loose rocks, big and small. Loose rocks will be strewn around. Even a little distance from the hill, you will see such small pieces of rocks. You should not step on that also. So you should walk so carefully that your foot doesn't touch any of these stones, whether they are attached to the mountain or they are loose. You have to walk so very carefully because this is the body of Krishna. Nobody, Madhavendra Puri went up, and that is where he found the Gopal deity. He installed it on the hill, etc. Correct? That was Madhavendra Puri. I hope you remember the story. Anyone doesn't know the story? Hare Krishna. Everyone knows?
Prabhuji, I don't know the story. I just I just joined your sessions a month ago, Prabhuji. So I think
I
I have
don't know,
missed
but
it.
yeah, but you know the Vrindavan stories about Madhavendra Puri, you know?
No, Prabhuji, I don't know. So if others are...
Okay, then I will briefly tell you. See, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's guru is Ishwar Puri. And Ishwar Puri's guru is Madhavendra Puri. And Madhavendra Puri comes in the parampara of Madhva Sampradaya. Brahma Madhva Sampradaya. So in that Madhva Sampradaya, he is one of the branches. After Lakshmi Tirtha in the Sampradaya, you see a branch that's called Madhavendra Puri branch. So that is also Brahma Madhva Sampradaya, but it's called Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya because Madhavendra Puri was a Gaudiya. That is Bengal. And so from that, all the Bengal branch comes. So he is the leader of that. And he's also called the incarnation of Prema Bhakti Lata, the creeper of Prema Bhakti of Radha and Krishna. He's the incarnation of that. So you will see in Gaudiya Sampradaya, everyone glorifying Madhavendra Puri for his pure devotion to Krishna. So Krishna performed some nice pastimes with him in the Vrindavan Govardhan area. So one of the pastimes was Krishna arranged for Madhavendra Puri to dig out the deity of Gopalji, which was lying buried on the Govardhan. So with the help of some Brajavasis, he brought the deity out. He installed it on top of the hill. He had a small temple built, and every day they had nice worship. They performed Annakut every day. They performed Abhisheks every day, like that. He served. So Madhavendra Puri climbed on the hill. But apart from that, subsequent, none of the Acharyas climbed the Govardhan hill. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu one time wanted to take darshan of Gopalji on the hilltop, which was installed by Madhavendra Puri, but he could not go up. So he was feeling so much separation. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he went to Vrindavan, he wanted to take darshan of Gopalji. But how can I take darshan? I cannot step on the Govardhan. So he had so much, he was feeling so miserable. Viraha. Then suddenly what happened? There was a rumor. What was the rumor? Oh, Mughals are coming and they are going to take away our deities. They are going to break them. We have to protect them, like that. So what happened? The pujaris of the Gopalji temple, quickly they removed the deity. They brought them down on a palanquin to hide them somewhere. So they hid it in somebody's house. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went there and he had his heart's content. He had darshan. For 1 whole month they remained there. Then everybody realized it was only a rumor. And then the deity went up. So the deity reciprocated in this way to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because he would not step on Govardhan hill. So none of us till date belonging to ISKCON or Gaudiya Math, they will not climb on the Govardhan hill, nor we will collect any souvenirs of small rocks, small stones from Govardhan that I can keep it in my puja or I can gift it to others. No, not permitted. We are not allowed to take any Govardhan Shilas out from there. So Prabhupada showed the Govardhan hill and then he showed Krishna's footprints here and there on the parikrama path. And when the devotees saw, they said, oh, the footprint is so huge. That means Krishna was very tall. Prabhupada said, yes, it was 5,000 years ago. And they were very well built and very tall. So Krishna must have been 7-8 feet tall, like that. And then they went to a place called Bindu Sarovar, where the first meeting of Radha and Krishna took place. So Prabhupada gave the description of the pastime. And in that Sarovar, Prabhupada said, the devotees, you take bath in the Sarovar. And Prabhupada took water from a nearby field, buckets of water from a small pond in a field, and he bathed in that water. He did not enter into Bindu Sarovar. Then they went into a place where they took their lunch prasadam. And lunch was some chapatis, sabjis, and all that. And as they were unpacking, as the devotees sat down, suddenly a pack of dogs started running from somewhere towards these people. They were barking, their mouths were wide open, saliva was drooling, and they were looking very fierce. And they were running. And immediately all the devotees got up and ran behind Prabhupada. Prabhupada was in front. And Prabhupada was not afraid. Prabhupada simply stood there with a chapati in hand, showing to the dogs. The dogs, until they approached Prabhupada, they were so ferocious, so angry, as though they will bite. But as soon as they came near, they became very gentle, almost like a puppy. And from Prabhupada's hands, they collected the chapatis and they slowly left. So devotees are amazed to see this. This full description is not in this book from where I am giving, but I heard it narrated by Srimati Yamuna Mataji. She said this story because she was personally present when this event happened. The disciples were so surprised that our Guru Maharaj is not afraid. He was able to see inside either the Paramatma or the soul of the dog, because they must have been devotees in previous births. Because of some offenses, they have taken birth as dogs, now taking prasadam, and they left the place. And then Prabhupada took them to Barsana, which is the birthplace of Srimati Radharani, where you have the Lalji's temple, Ladliji, her temple is there. Then you have other places it's actually called Brahmaji's head, Barsana. It has got 4 peaks. So the 4 peaks represents the 4 heads of Brahma, because you will see in Srimad Bhagavatam, Brahmaji prays that I want the dust of the gopis and Radharani on my head always. So he was blessed. Okay, you become the hill in Barsana. So the 4 heads represent the 4 heads of the 4 peaks or 4 heads of Brahma. And many pastimes of Radha and Krishna happened there. So Prabhupada spoke about these things. And while coming down from the hill, there was a special point where Radha and Krishna would meet. There is this Man Mandir where the anger pastimes of Srimati Radharani were performed. There is a Morkuti where they both danced like peacocks. Krishna and Radharani, they danced like peacocks. Then there is a place where Krishna dressed like Radharani. He wore the bangles, and Radharani stole the flute of Krishna. Like that, there are several pastimes that happen there. Barsana is the place of Srimati Radharani. And for many devotees, Barsana is more sacred than Gokul, because if you see in Vrindavan, everybody will be saying Radhe, Radhe, Radhe. Why Radhe? Because Radha is the route to reach the heart of Krishna. In Krishna's heart, Radharani lives always. So by becoming the servants of Srimati Radharani, we find ready access into Krishna's heart, because Radharani, Krishna is merciful, without doubt, but Radharani is million times more merciful than Krishna. So even if Krishna finds fault in some devotee, Radharani will say, no, 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 it's not a fault at all. Or she will say, it's very small, but he's such a nice devotee. He's even better than me. Please accept. And when Radharani says, please accept, Krishna cannot say no. So this is the secret, shortcut to Krishna service through Srimati Radharani. So they saw all these places, and in every holy place, Srila Prabhupada would sit down. You can imagine a yatra now in your mind, Vrindavan yatra. So these 40 Western disciples are there with Srila Prabhupada, and they're going from place to place. They have a small bus, they have a car, and they are carrying the food with them, and they're going to various places. And what do? Prabhupada will make them sit down in every place, and they will have a nice kirtan. And then the deity of the place to the local deity, they would go and offer obeisances, and then Prabhupada will give katha. What happened in this particular place, that katha, Prabhupada will tell. He will say, he will show where Krishna lifted the Govardhan hill, or where Krishna um, uh, illusion Brahmaji, where he killed Aghasur, where he killed Bhakasur, where Trinavarta was killed, where Putana was killed, like that. Where is the house of Lord Sri Krishna? Where is Yashoda Mai's Kunda? Where is Nanda Maharaja's Kunda? Like that. All these places they were seeing. And every place, Prabhupada gave a small katha. Like that, they enjoyed the first Vrindavan Parikrama with Srila Prabhupada. And then they visited Brahmanda Ghat, where Krishna ate mud. That's called Brahmanda Ghat. And Yashoda Maya asked him to open his mouth, and then she saw the entire Brahmanda in his mouth. So it's called Brahmanda Ghat. They visited that place. And in Brahmanda Ghat, Prabhupada said, you all take bath here. That is actually a ghat on the Yamuna. So all the disciples got into the water and they were frolicking in the water. Prabhupada was sitting on the shore and he was watching, smiling happily. Prabhupada actually was not keeping very well at the time, so he did not enter into the water. So the disciples were playing in the water. Prabhupada saw for some time. Then quickly Prabhupada also removed his clothes, wore the gamcha, and he entered into the water. And all the disciples became so joyful. They, Jai Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada, they were shouting. And Prabhupada entered into the water along with them. And he also took bath and they were playing in the water. They formed a circle around Prabhupada inside the water and they were going round and round. And Prabhupada was smiling. So they had these amazing remembrances of Prabhupada's association in Vrindavan. So Yamuna Mataji says, they went to Radha Damodar temple. Anyone can tell what is the significance of Radha Damodar temple for ISKCON devotees? Any of you remember? There are many temples, but why Radha Damodar is special? Yes. No one remembers?
Prabhupada stayed there, no Prabhuji, and he used to see the samadhi of Rupa Goswami from there.
Correct. So Radha Damodar temple by itself is a very important temple because Jiva Goswami's deities are there, Radha Damodar. There is also the deity of Krishnadas Kaviraj, correct, Amma? Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, then Loknath Bhugar Goswami. Some of the Goswami deities are also there. The Radha Damodar is a deity of Jiva Goswami. And apart, yes, ma'am? Jayadeva Goswami's deities, like that. And also, one special Govardhan Shila, one stone of Govardhan, which is fairly big, with markings of the footprints of a calf, the stick, what Krishna is holding in his hand, the mark of that stick, and Krishna's footprint, all these are in that one stone. And that stone actually belonged to Sanatana Goswami. One time when Sanatana Goswami, he had the habit of daily doing Govardhan Parikrama, Bada Parikrama, big Parikrama around Govardhan every day. And when he became old, it was difficult for him, but he would not give up. And Krishna was pained. Why at this old age you are walking? Like that he came in the disguise of a Gopa and he asked Sanatana Goswami. He said, no, I cannot stop going. I will continue. Then the boy quickly ran up the hill and he came with a stone and he said, look, this stone contains the footprint of Lord Krishna and his stick and the calf's footprint. This, you walk around this stone 7 times. It is equal to going around the Govardhan Parikrama. Please accept this. Then Sanatana Goswami relented. Okay, I will take it. So the boy carried it to Sanatana Goswami's place and installed it there. So that also you can see even now if you go to Radha Damodar temple. And even more special than all this is Rupa Goswami's Bhajan Kutir and Samadhi Mandir. Both are there within the campus of this Radha Damodar temple. And this temple is very famous because Jiva Goswami lived there and every day lunchtime the Goswamis would meet in this Radha Damodar yard. You know why? Can anyone guess what they were discussing?
pastimes of the Lord?
Yeah, that should obviously happen when devotees come together. But more important than that, they were planning out how to plan for the future. They are all writing books, but Kali Yuga is now coming and it's advancing, and how to do the preaching and how to. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was told, Prithivitaya Chayadi Nagaradi Gram, Sarvatra Prachara Hoibe Moranam. In the planet, every nook and corner, in every town and village, my name should be sung. This is the prophecy given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But it has not yet happened. 500 years ago, when the Goswamis were there. So they were thinking, how to make it happen? How we will do it? Whom should we send? How we will accomplish this task? This is what they were discussing. Huh? And that is where Srila Prabhupada went and stayed. So even more special than the Samadhi Mandir of Rupa Goswami and the meeting place of the Goswamis is the 2 rooms which Srila Prabhupada had rented from the management of Radha Damodar temple. 2 rooms facing each other. Srila Prabhupada used both the rooms. One room was his kitchen, the other room was his working area and sleeping area. 2 rooms, small rooms, very old rooms, and preserved till today very nicely by the temple management. And also now ISKCON has been given the responsibility to maintain that place. So these 2 rooms are available. So when you go to Vrindavan, apart from Krishna Balaram temple of ISKCON, this is another most important place to visit, Radha Damodar temple. And within that temple, the 2 rooms of Srila Prabhupada, you have to see that. So Yamuna Mataji says, Prabhupada was extremely fond of this place because Srila Prabhupada would go in the night and sweep in front of Rupa Goswami's Samadhi and Bhajan Kutir, and he would weep and weep and weep. Some people who are living in the neighborhood, they could hear someone crying. And when they went up to see who it was Srila Prabhupada in the night. And he was praying for empowerment. That I have to go to the West. And the people in the West are steeped in Tamogun and Rajogun. How will I preach to them? Please empower me. This was his prayer to Rupa Goswami. Because why Rupa Goswami is important for us? Anyone wants to say? Why is Rupa Goswami important?
We are the followers of Rupa Goswami. We are Rupanugas.
We are all Rupanugas. And who is Rupa Goswami actually in the spiritual world?
Manjari Prabhuji.
What Manjari?
Rupa Manjari.
Rupa Goswami is Rupa Manjari. And who is Rupa Manjari in the spiritual world?
Serving Radharani Prabhuji.
Associates of Lalita.
Radharani.
One of the principal gopi of
Radharani.
Not
Lalita
Gopi,
Sakhi.
Manjari. She is Manjari, not Gopi. Gopis are different, Manjaris are different. Sakhis are different, Manjaris are different. Manjaris are in the age group of 10, 11, just very innocent people, just budding, like that, 10, 11 years old. And they assist the Sakhis. And Rupa Manjari is
Lalita Sakhi Prabhu.
Rupa Manjari serving directly under Lalita Sakhi. And she is the head of all the Sakhis also. Lalita Sakhi is the head of all the Sakhis in Vrindavan. And Rupa Manjari is the head of all Manjaris in Vrindavan. And Rupa Manjari serves directly under Lalita Sakhi. And what is special about Manjaris is that in the most intimate pastimes of Radha and Krishna, where even Sakhis cannot enter, the Manjaris enter. And they serve Radha and Krishna in their most intimate pastimes. So that way, Rupa Manjari is the guiding force of our movement, of Gaudiya Vaishnava movement, Rupa Manjari. So you can understand why being a member of this Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya is important. It is because it opens the door for the highest rasa in Krishna consciousness. In Tattva, there is no difference. Tattva means Vishnu Tattva. Krishna is the original person, Supreme Personality of Godhead, and his expansions are all called Vishnu Tattva. All the Vishnu forms, then Rama, Nrsimha, Vamana, Kurma, Matsya, Nrsimha, all these expand from him. And Krishna is the original personality. So they are all Vishnu Tattva. They are all equally powerful, but still Bhagavan Swayam, Krishna is the original Supreme Lord. So that way, this Lalita Sakhi is the head of all the Sakhis who serve Radha and Krishna. And Rupa Manjari is the head of all the Manjaris. And by being the followers of Rupa Manjari, we are given this exclusive entrance into the Madhurya pastimes of Radha and Krishna. The most sweetest pastimes of Krishna is the Madhurya pastimes, which is performed with the gopis. And by getting connected to Rupa Manjari through Rupa Goswami, we are all given access to that. So as followers of Krishna consciousness movement, we should all aspire for this highest rasa. Tattva-wise, all the Vishnu forms and Krishna, they are all one and the same. But rasa-wise, the Supreme Personality manifests all his sweetness in Krishna. All his sweetness, he manifests in Krishna. And within Krishna, all the sweetness is manifested in these pastimes with the gopis. The highest with Srimati Radharani. So we have many rasas like Dasya rasa, Sakya rasa, Vatsalya rasa, Madhurya rasa. And Madhurya rasa is the highest. And in Madhurya rasa, Radharani is the highest. And by being Rupanugas, we will get access to all these things. So we are extremely fortunate, though taking birth in this Kali Yuga, where only the most sinful souls take birth. By the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Mahavadanya, is the most liberal, munificent personality. He doesn't see your qualification at all. Oh, you are a sinful person, I will not give you entry. He will not say that. Rather, he is Patita Pavan, the most fallen person. He will uplift him and give him access into the highest rasa of Krishna. So that way, that is what makes this ISKCON movement very special in this age of Kali. For the next 10,000 years, access of going back home, back to Godhead, in the highest rasa, it will be through the Krishna consciousness movement, ISKCON or Gaudiya Math, basically through this Gaudiya Acharyas. Following them, we'll be able to gain access to that. So that way, in Radha Damodar temple, the devotees spend time, and after that, His Holiness Radhanath Swami, he narrates. His narration is given in this Prabhupada Lilamrt. Some 3-4 pages of narration is there about what he says happened in Vrindavan. Actually, Radhanath Swami is also an American devotee by name Richard Slavin, but he had not become a disciple of Srila Prabhupada. While Prabhupada was propagating in America and other countries, this Richard Slavin, he was about 18, 19 years old. He left America in search of God. Somehow, he did not get connected to Srila Prabhupada. Even though here and there he saw some devotees, here and there he saw some books with the photo of Prabhupada on it, and he preserved it also with him. But he never had chance to see Srila Prabhupada. So he came to, he went to Europe first with a friend, then he separated from that friend also. Alone, hitchhiking without any money, he came to India. Hitchhiking from Greece all the way to India, he came. And after coming to India, he went and spent time in Himalayas. That's a story he has given. So then at one time, he had to extend his visa. For that purpose, he came to Bombay. And when he came to Bombay, he saw the big posters of Cross Maidan Pandal program. And he saw Prabhupada's picture. He went and sat there. And Prabhupada invited him to share the stage with him, simply to sit by his side. People, the Americans could not even recognize that he was an American because he had become totally like a sadhu from Himalayas. He had, braided hair, jada he was having. And he was dressed like a Babaji, one piece of cloth in the waist, that's all. Very dirty by taking bath in muddy waters and fully tanned. So they could not recognize. But Prabhupada said, you bring him. So they brought him from the back of the audience and he sat on the stage. Every day for 10 days, he sat there, listened to Srila Prabhupada's lectures, and then he went back. Where he went back? He was earlier in Vrindavan. He came to Bombay only for extension of visa. He went back to Vrindavan and he started living there. For 6 months, he was there. 6 months later, one day he saw one bus was coming and the bus stopped and devotees jumped out of that westerners and they were chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So Radhanath Swami reckoned, hey, these people I saw in Bombay also. Oh, they have come. So immediately he went to them and asked, has Srila Prabhupada also come or is he coming? They said, he is very much here. And tomorrow you come, you can listen to his Bhagavatam class. So next day, Radhanath Swami went, he heard the Bhagavatam class. And before the class started, Srila Prabhupada sang, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, with his eyes closed, with a grave, serious face, he was chanting, he was singing this song, which he sings before every Bhagavatam class. And when Radhanath Swami saw, at the time, not Radhanath Swami, Richard Slavin, he saw him. Before that, by living in Vrindavan, he had met many gurus and he was attracted to many of them. They also offered to make him their disciples. But somehow he thought, no, I am not ready, I am not ready. So in Bombay also, he was not ready. The disciples were asking, please join us. But he said, no, I am not ready. I am not ready in the sense, if I join you today and leave you tomorrow, that will not be a good thing to do. When I come, I should be fully committed to your movement. But right now, I don't have that confidence in myself. I will still go and search. So he went to Vrindavan. Vrindavan, he met many acharyas, but he did not surrender to them also. So now he saw Prabhupada singing this song. And then he thought, oh, I have met many devotees here, but no one is like him. The purity that he's manifesting, the love of Krishna he's manifesting, I have not seen in the face of anyone. Then Prabhupada gave a short class. The class was so precise, concise, and very meaningful, so essential. So the truth was compressed in just a few lines. So Radhanath Swami was completely impressed. In such a short class, he has told every truth, the highest truth of Krishna consciousness. Then he decided, he is my guru. At that time, in his mind, he surrendered to Srila Prabhupada. Then what happened? Next day, they were going to a place called Raman Reddy. Right, no? The devotees were going to somewhere in the place is not mentioned. So Prabhupada, the local people had invited Prabhupada for glorification because they all knew Prabhupada even before he went to America. So now Prabhupada has gone to America, has brought so many American disciples, and Vrindavan has now become world famous. People from every continent are coming to Vrindavan. So they said, you are our homegrown Swamiji, Vrindavan Swamiji. And you have taken the name of Vrindavan throughout the world. So we respect you, we honor you. Like that, they very much glorified him. And after the meeting was over, Prabhupada was leaving. This was Raman Reddy only, correct. One day in Raman Reddy, Srila Prabhupada was coming, but Radhanath Swami reached the place a little late. So Srila Prabhupada had finished his stay in Raman Reddy, he was leaving. So he was walking towards the taxi, just about maybe some 40, 50 feet. He had to walk and then the taxi will be there. And Radhanath Swami saw him walking and everybody was falling at his feet to take blessings. And Srila Prabhupada was just walking. And people were falling like that. So Radhanath Swami also went and fell in front of, a few feet in front of Srila Prabhupada. He stayed like that for some time. He thought, now Prabhupada would have walked past me. Now I can get up and see him getting into the car, right? So he opened his eyes. Till now his eyes were closed. He opened his eyes and in front of his eyes, he saw the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada had stopped in front of him. So he could not believe his eyes. He lifted his head up and there he met the eyes of Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada was looking down so compassionately, so gravely, and the eyes met. And Prabhupada looked at him. Now I will read from here. You just listen. how Prabhupada captures the hearts of people. He looked me in the eyes for a couple of seconds and then said, "So, how long have you been here in Vrindavan?" I said, "About 6 months, Srila Prabhupada." He just looked at me again, and he was in a very serious mood, very compassionate, gazing into my eyes. He nodded his head and said, "Do you like it here?" I said, "This is the most wonderful place I have ever been in my life. Otherwise, he will stay for 6 months." So he said that. Then, all of a sudden, his serious expression just blossomed into the most beautiful smile. His eyes were glistening radiantly, and he looked at me for about 5 or 10 seconds. It seemed like a really long time. I could not believe the mercy he was giving me. And then he just replied, "That is very nice. Vrindavan is a wonderful place." And then he walked on. So this is how, a few more things anyway. So this is the remembrance of one of his disciples. Now His Holiness Radhanath Swami is one of the prominent preachers of ISKCON, and there is a temple in Mumbai called Chowpatty Radha Gopinath Temple. He looks after the temple, and also he does a lot of global preaching. There is a place in outside Bombay, about 50-60 kilometers away, called Govardhan Eco Village, where he has created a mini Vrindavan and so many other interesting things. So this is his remembrance, how he connected to Srila Prabhupada. So he says, in the very first meeting in Bombay, the seed was planted in my heart. And 6 months later, when he came to Vrindavan, I was ready to surrender myself. Okay. In Vrindavan, Srila Prabhupada also very much focused on etiquette. What is etiquette? Can anyone describe what is the meaning of etiquette?
The practical behavior and do's and don'ts. And
Yeah. From where does it come, these etiquettes? They have evolved over a period of time, right?
Some
And
set of rules, Prabhuji.
yes, some of them may be written rules, some of them may be observed rules, tradition. It has been followed for a long time and you follow. So essentially, we can say among the Vaishnava community or among the Gaudiya Vaishnava community, also there is some etiquette. And that etiquette we must always follow. We must learn. We should take pains to learn the etiquette and we should also follow. Otherwise, it will look odd. Say, for example, juta, we are not supposed to touch our mouth and with the same finger touch other things. They become polluted. So we should be very careful. And Prabhupada is saying, you people are Westerners, you have no culture at all. But India is a very cultured nation. This is a Varnashrama country. So, and you are in Vrindavan, the holiest dham. And both the Vrajavasis and especially the Goswamis, they will give a lot of importance to etiquette. You may say that I am a pure devotee, so you should not see my external behavior. I am a Westerner, I don't know these things, so you should tolerate me. You should see my heart. Prabhupada very clearly told them, this will not work. As a devotee, it is your duty to learn the etiquette and to strictly follow. And Prabhupada says a few things. You watch. Training devotees in etiquette of the Dhamma. Prabhupada was training them in the etiquette of Vrindavan Dham, how to behave there. So Prabhupada says, everyone will notice my devotees. Even when they drink from a jug, they will be watched. Don't be criticized for uncleanliness, because Prabhupada saw maybe one of the devotees with a hand where he has eaten food, with the same hand he might have touched the jug. Or he might have sipped water from the jug, touching his mouth. So these things are not permitted. So don't be criticized for uncleanliness. This is the cleanliness, right? Your hand should be washed every time, like we do achaman. Every time we do achaman before touching any of the puja paraphernalia. Like that, even in the normal day-to-day, we should wash our hands every time. Every time you happen to touch your mouth or your eyes or your feet, you must wash your hands. And when you go out and come, you have to wash your feet. You should not walk in with your chappals. These are etiquettes. in the West, they are not followed. So Prabhupada is teaching them. So Prabhupada says, if you get criticized, I will be criticized. It is a duty of disciples to follow these etiquette habits very austerely. You should take pains to follow. And Prabhupada says, I am putting so much energy into this party in India, he's telling his disciples, because I want to train you how to live here. If you follow the etiquettes, then people will respect you and they will accept you. But if you don't follow etiquette, you will not be respected and you will not be accepted. So if you want to live here as Vaishnavas, then you must learn. Okay. So all the Vrajavasis are appreciating the hometown Swamiji. Srila Prabhupada is a hometown Swamiji. Right? Okay. Then Prabhupada returned to Delhi from Vrindavan. And he met the American ambassador, Kenneth Keating. He went to American embassy. He had an appointment. He went and spoke to him. So Prabhupada straight away told him about difference between body and soul. Sarira and Sariri. Deha and Dehi. The dress and the wearer of the dress. Right? The house and the occupant of the house. Like that he explained the distinction of body and soul. He said, this is the basic which everybody should know. You are wearing a striped coat, but can I call you Mr. Striped Coat? Immediately Kenneth Keating understood. I am not the dress. I am the person inside the dress. So Prabhupada said, your body is your dress and you are inside your body. Very simply, he could make him understand. Just like you are in this striped coat, your soul, that is you. You are in the body. This is not permanently your body. You will change this body. You did not have this body when you were a child. Now you have this body. Now when you die, you will give up this body and you will get one more body. So Prabhupada explained that. Then he explained the meaning of Krishna, that God has got many names, but the perfect name is Krishna. All the names are very powerful names, but the perfect name is Krishna. Why? Because he attracts everyone. Every living entity is directly or indirectly attracted by Krishna. Directly means you are a spiritual person. Indirectly means you are a material person and you are attracted to Krishna's external energy. If you are a spiritual person, you are attracted to Krishna's internal energy. Or if you are an impersonalist, you are attracted to the effulgence of Krishna, right? Like that, everyone is attracted. Even the sense gratifier, he is looking for sense objects. And Krishna comes in the form of these sense objects to satisfy the craving of the people. So Prabhupada so combined with Kenneth Keating, and he very much appreciated the teachings. He said, yes, I understand. And I am amazed at the sincerity of your American disciples. Then he asked, do you have such disciples in India also? Then Prabhupada said, in India, there is no problem because everybody in India accepts Krishna as the Supreme Personality of God. And everybody worships Krishna. Then Srila Prabhupada, when leaving the office of Kenneth Keating, he said, now I want to discuss business with you. Up to now, I spoke to you spirituality. Now, business. What is the business? I want to meet your president, American president. Please arrange. Actually, this is not business. This is also for preaching purpose only. Okay. Then emergency was declared in India at this time, December, and the war started between India and Pakistan because of East Pakistan, which is now Bangladesh. There were blackouts. And in the blackout, Prabhupada continued to give classes where he was staying. All the disciples would assemble and in darkness, because even the candles were not allowed. Sometimes candles were allowed. Then the disciples could see only the face of Srila Prabhupada in that candle light. The deities and the face of Prabhupada only will be visible and everything will be in dark. Imagine such a mystic atmosphere, and Prabhupada would give classes every day. So that went on for some time. Prabhupada explained that in the age of Kali, fighting propensity, quarreling propensity is very strong. So even if this war is not there, there will be other wars and other problems like that. And what happened? In this war, America supported Pakistan. America was always close to Pakistan, if you remember, in those days. And America was giving a lot of aid to Pakistan, right? Even though it was a land where a lot of terrorists were coming up, America wanted to counter Russia by supporting Pakistan because Russia was controlling  And India was also more closer to Russia. So America supported Pakistan. So in the war also, America threatened India by sending their 7th fleet of naval ships to India, the warships. And so Indians were very angry with Americans. And these disciples of Prabhupada are all Americans. So Prabhupada was a little worried that they should not become a target of angry Indian citizens. So Prabhupada dispersed them to various places. And in Mayapur also, devotees were asked to disperse because East Pakistan, it is the border of East Pakistan, the Navadvip area. So Prabhupada moved them. But Prabhupada said, this international politics will never stop, but Lord Chaitanya's movement cannot be stopped. This kind of fighting against each other, it is the nature of Kali Yuga. But Chaitanya's movement, it's a wave which is coming and no one can stop it. So Srila Prabhupada's plan was that if America can accept Krishna consciousness, he can quickly spread it all over the world. But still, the fact remains that his single-handed efforts in India for many, many years had not succeeded. So when disciples asked him why, Prabhupada explained, please listen very carefully, why Krishna consciousness does not take root in India easily. It should have, because it is a birthplace of Lord Krishna. It is a birthplace of Bhagavad Gita. It is a birthplace of all Oriental philosophy and Varnashrama Dharma. But still, what is the problem? 1,000 years of Mughal rule, followed by 300 or 400 years of British rule. What happened? Indians became too absorbed in politics. And they have become ignorant of the spiritual heritage. Indians have forgotten. Even though every Indian knew, I am not the body, I am a soul, and I reincarnate. I move from body to body, and I suffer the results of my past karma. All this is known to Indians, but because of the British rule and all, Indians have given up hope in themselves. Oh, we are useless people. We are slaves only. Americans are civilized people. British people, they are now civilizing us. We are otherwise useless people. We are simply wasting our time. Systematic indoctrination. They destroyed the Gurukuls. So they destroyed the Brahmanas who were teaching scriptures. So, and Indians are forced to learn English. They go to Western style schools. So within 2-3 generations, Indians did not know anything. If you want money, you have to learn English. Sanskrit will not help you at all. And Gurukuls are closed down. Brahmanas are kicked out of business. They cannot maintain themselves. So what the Brahmanas had to do? They also had to join the English schools, study English, and get a job. That's all. So they destroyed the Varnashrama culture and Vedic culture very easily, very quickly. We should remember this. So Indians were too absorbed in politics, too ignorant of spiritual heritage, or too crippled by poverty. So they could not give time for Krishna. So Prabhupada now started preaching in India to English-speaking people. In the US, Prabhupada had been successful. It was the prime field to implant Krishna consciousness. But there was a problem in the West. What is the problem? Uncultured, uncivilized nation. America itself is what? 300-400 years old, right? American Revolution was when? 1773. So they had migrated barely in 1700 to America. There were Red Indians. The Red Indians were killed and these people took that land. They were basically swindlers and murderers. That is how the nation started, America. There is no civilization, no culture. So Prabhupada wants there should be some culture, right? So Prabhupada, even though they were taking Krishna consciousness, they had very strong anarthas. Anarthas, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsari, right? Meat eating, intoxication, illicit sex, gambling, very common. So even though you are planting Krishna consciousness there, the anarthas are covering. So Prabhupada said, even now, after 1,000 years of Mughal rule and British rule, still Vedic culture is there in India. At least something is still left. The heart of original Vedic culture is still in India. A person like Prabhupada could see. You and I are not able to see, but Prabhupada could see. So then Prabhupada wanted that we should focus on India. And then from India, the Krishna consciousness should go to the rest of the world. Even though Prabhupada did it the other way around. Prabhupada went to America and brought Americans to India to preach. But Prabhupada's actual plan is now India should become strong. Now India is becoming strong in Krishna consciousness. And from India, a lot of devotees are going abroad for preaching purposes. So what Prabhupada's dream is now happening. So Prabhupada had demonstrated that the whole world will accept this movement. He has visited practically every continent. And in every continent, he could make many disciples and build temples. So he has shown the model. Now it has to be implemented in a very broad-based way. So even if you say, no, both USA and India are important, then also in USA, Prabhupada's disciples are doing the job, even without Prabhupada. Prabhupada has come back to India, but still the movement is flourishing in America and in Europe. How? The disciples are preaching. They have taken over from Prabhupada. Prabhupada's books are there, Prabhupada's lectures are there, Prabhupada's class recordings are there, and Prabhupada's letters are there, and also personal experience with Prabhupada is there. So they were inspired, they were preaching. Even without Prabhupada, the movement was growing. But in India, the Americans could not do it alone without Prabhupada. Why? Because there was so much cheating. And they were losing so much money to the cheaters. Because imagine building a temple means you have to buy so much of material, you have to buy marble, you have to buy redstone, you have to buy steel and so many materials. And they are getting cheated. So Prabhupada said, where 1 crore is required, my people are spending 10 crores. Where the money will come? So Prabhupada had to focus on the projects also. Personally, Prabhupada had to focus on the projects and he had to do the preaching also. So Prabhupada was 100% hands-on in the India preaching. So from 1970, Prabhupada traveled all over India as a model sannyasi. So he showed his American disciples, this is how you must preach in India. So he opened a new field in India for sannyasi preachers. Then, now he wanted to build big temples, especially, can you tell me the speciality of Vrindavan, Mayapur, Bombay? I told in the beginning of the class. Anyone remembers?
Prabhupada, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Prabhupada said Vrindavan is his home,
Yes.
Mumbai is his workplace, and
Yes.
Mayapur is where he goes to worship.
Exactly. So Mayapur is a temple, a place of worship. And Bombay is a place of business. And Vrindavan is his home. So like that. So these 3 places, he wanted really big temples, which will attract, because Bombay is a gateway of India. So the whole world will come through Bombay. So that is the reason Bombay is important for Prabhupada. The disciples did not understand Prabhupada's plans. Never they understood. When Prabhupada registered ISKCON in New York, you remember what the disciples thought? Why he's calling it International Society? Because there is only one branch, that is a small 26 Second Avenue Matchless Gifts. This small shop, and he's calling International Society. They could not understand, but Prabhupada knew. So everything that Prabhupada did, when Prabhupada left New York to go to California, they thought, why he's going out of this place? We thought he will be with us always, but now he's going to open a second temple there. And then slowly he sent disciples to Europe, to London, to open a temple there. And it started expanding. So whatever Prabhupada did, they could not understand. So only Krishna and Prabhupada knew the plan. But slowly the plans were being unfolded and everything, Prabhupada depended on Krishna. And Prabhupada said, temple construction is secondary. Book publishing is primary for me. Translation, printing, distribution of books is most important for ISKCON. But temple construction is secondary. But still, like a train runs on 2 tracks. Both the tracks are required. So one track is Bhagavata Marga and the other track is Pancharatriki Vidhi. Between the 2, Bhagavata Marga is more important, but still both the tracks are important. Can anyone explain what Prabhupada means by this? Pancharatri and Bhagavata Marga.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. May I try Prabhuji?
Yes.
Prabhuji, Pancharatrika Vidhi is mainly the deity worship and all that.
Yes.
But Bhagavata Vidhi is mainly about chanting and reading Bhagavata scripture.
Thank you, Mataji. You said it so precisely, exactly. So Pancharatri Vidhi was established by Narada Muni, right? And that is the marga for actually Dwapar Yuga, deity worship. Dwapare Paricharyayam. In the Dwapara Yuga, people were supposed to have elaborate temples and do deity worship. But Prabhupada said, in Kali Yuga also, we cannot give up Pancharatri Vidhi, that is deity worship. We should have temples, we should have deities, and the devotee should be trained on serving the deities very opulently. We have to serve the deities. That is also important. But Bhagavata Marga, which is chanting, hearing, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, that is your Bhagavata Marga, pure devotion. That is association of devotees and practicing Krishna consciousness in the association of devotees. That is Bhagavata Marga. One is deity, other is devotee association. So both are important. But for us, Bhagavata Marga is more important. But why Prabhupada is focusing on temples? Prabhupada gave some reasons. One reason is, I have to purify my disciples. I cannot allow them to go and chant like Haridas Thakur. Why? They are not pure. They cannot chant like Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur could chant 200 rounds per day. But my disciples are not ready. If I ask them to chant like that, within a short time, they will all disappear. They cannot chant. Purity is not. Earlier, I was telling anarthas. A lot of anarthas are hiding in us. The anarthas will not allow you to relish the chanting of the holy name. So Prabhupada said, I have to engage them now. I must engage them fully, 24 hours, and give them just a little time for chanting. The rest of the time, their mind should not wander. They should be serving Krishna. So Prabhupada's temples would give them active service. So much service that some of them would cry to Prabhupada, Prabhupada, I am unable to chant. 24 hours I am busy, I am not getting time to chant. So exceptionally to some disciples, Prabhupada said, it's all right. Your service to the temple is also chanting. But we cannot take it like that. I'm saying this only to explain to you how much Prabhupada extracted from his disciples. So when you become pure, when you become old enough, then you can retire. And you can sit in Vrindavan, Mayapur, and you can chant on the banks of Radhakund. But not now. Now, service. Then Samadhi later. Service now, Samadhi later. This is Prabhupada's quote. Yeah. So, unlike the Babajis of Vrindavan, Prabhupada did not allow his disciples to become like Babajis. He gave them full service, full service. You have to raise funds, you have to constantly oversee the temple and make sure the temples are open and then maintain all these things. And also, second reason is, I don't need a temple for preaching. I can sit under a tree and preach, but who will come? I am preaching for you people, but you will not come. If I want you to come, I should build opulent temples and I should attract you to come there. So that is the reason I am building these temples. So Prabhupada explained like this. So now Bombay, November 1971, Srila Prabhupada has come and he is now looking for land in Bombay. Vrindavan is done, Mayapur is done. Now he is coming to Bombay. Because our time is up, we will continue in the next session. We will see how the Bombay land manifests. But of course, it will take time. There will be so much of pain, so much of anxiety, so much of tension for so many devotees. But eventually, Krishna will deliver the land into the lap of Srila Prabhupada. We will see that amazing story in the weeks to come. Thank you very much for joining. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo. Devotees, if you have any questions, you can ask.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Not a question, Prabhuji. I'm not able to understand this, Prabhuji.
Ah.
Like by doing the Pancharatrika Vidhi
Yes.
and doing more and more services,
Yes.
our anarthas will get purified.
Exactly.
So, but by associating with the people, I mean devotees and reading scriptures and chanting,
Yes.
in that way also we will get purified, no, Prabhuji?
Yeah,
Correct.
but same time, see, Mataji, we all have different natures, We have all come to Krishna consciousness, but our natures are very different. We have come through different paths. We are not all the same type of person. So you cannot try to straitjacket all of us into, one way, Everyone has to be given the space, So somebody is suited for deity worship, somebody is good for cooking, somebody good for cleaning, somebody good for book distribution, somebody will raise funds. You have to create variety of services and you can engage people with different natures into variety of services. That is possible only with projects. If you only tell everybody, you sit with devotees, discuss Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and then chant, it won't suit for everyone, correct? So that way, a variety of engagements are created through these temple projects. Imagine, once a temple is opened, can you sleep? Morning 3:30, you have to wake up. And then wake up the deities by 4:30, have an opulent Mangalarati, then you have to cook prasadam, everything, and by 7 o'clock, the deities must be dressed nicely, bathed nicely, and then you have to offer them prasadam, then nice arti. Like that, it should go on. Temple means devotees will be coming, people will be coming to visit, you have to serve them. So temple creates a lot of activities and so many services. You have to celebrate festivals. Janmashtami will come, Nityananda Trayodasi will come, Gaur Purnima will come, Radhashtami will come. You have to celebrate nice festivals. So many things. And temple means funds are required to maintain. You have to dress the deities opulently. You have to put flower garlands on the deities, on the temples, on the altars. You have to so nicely you have to maintain. So you can imagine ISKCON temples. Costs a lot of money to maintain. So that creates services for everybody. And by doing those services, your passion, it is getting dovetailed in the service of Krishna. Your ignorance, your passion, everything is getting dovetailed in the service of Krishna, and you are getting purified. And you will elevate into Sattva and Suddha Sattva. So this is the plan, that why temples are necessary. Otherwise, some of Prabhupada's disciples, they complain that these projects are taking our time, our minds are getting disturbed. I want to go to Radhakunda and chant. Prabhupada strongly objected, no. But some disciples did not care. They went to Radhakunda and they chanted nicely for a few days and they disappeared from ISKCON. So Guru knows everything perfectly. Is it okay, Mataji?
Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhuji. We have to come to the Sattva platform, goodness only then. So is it because of that? It has been given like that.
That is why parallel tracks, one side Bhagavata Marga, other side is Pancharatri Vidhi of deity worship. We need both for our period.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the clarification. Hare Krishna.
So we'll meet again next week. Thank you, devotees. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Lilamrt ki jai. Satsrup Das Goswami Maharaj ki jai.
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 Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you so much,
Prabhuji. Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Pranams.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Prabhuji. Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Dandavat pranam.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.